Hey everyone. During this time when we're talking about generosity and how to make that part of everyday life at Highlands, I wanted to share with you a story of my greatest example of generosity that I experienced. When I was 21 years old, and a couple years before and a couple years after, I was one of the youth directors at the church that I grew up in. We had the opportunity to take about 50 kids down to Tijuana and build a couple houses down there. And I think sometimes we can think of giving, of being generous, as with a need of being methodical. There has to be a plan. You have to sit down and measure things out and see what it is you have to give. Be it time or energy or money. And you have to write that down and you have to stick to it, and there's steps along the way. And I think being methodical in your giving can be very important. But I think also there are times where generosity bursts through as a surprise that none of us are expecting, and sometimes wouldn't even think would happen. And I think sometimes those are the times when we can really see it as a living thing. And that's kind of what I want to share with you. So we're in Mexico, and we're building houses, and it's hot, and it's long days, and there's a language barrier, and all of that. But it was amazing, and we learned a lot, and my favorite part of the day was we took a break in the afternoon, and we'd walk down to this corner bodega and get a glass bottle of squirt out of a ice box and drink it on the way back, and it was cold and sweet and good. And when we were finished with that, we'd plug back into the extension cords that were just all stuck together in a ditch that gave power to the neighborhood. And we'd saw away and sand and nail and hammer. And I think it was easy for us to feel that we were being generous, and we were. We were giving of our time and our energy and our talents, and we had made the plan and raised money to get down there and told everyone what we were doing, and it was very structured. And yet, on the last day, the roof's been put on, the doors closed, there's lights and windows. We showed up to kind of say goodbye, double check that we had everything we had brought. And here before us was a huge spread of food, surrounded by the families and the neighbors, all dressed as if they were headed to church on Sunday. And it was shocking and wonderful. And they had come together in a way when, even though they didn't have a home, they figured out how to thank us and to put this feast before us. And they filled us to our heart's content, both physically and certainly spiritually. I have never seen a group of people come together when it could have been easy just to say thank you. Come together and give from a bucket that would have seemingly looked empty. That surprise generosity was the true gift and was humbling. So my challenge to you, not that I can really challenge you to do anything, but my challenge to you, if you accept it, is to be methodical in your discernment about generosity for Highlands this year. Do the work, write it down. But do those things so that you know that you can create opportunities to be surprised and humbled by generosity that is beyond measure.